Hey, house guests. Welcome to today's Big Brother 25 updates and spoilers. Ooh, this necklace is really blinding. Our house guests of the day are Latoya L. and Matthew Burge. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so, so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Before we get going, I also want to thank yesterday's super chatters because that's another fantastic way to support us and our channel. So Camila Gamba, Ed M, Mary Ellen L, Wendy Will, Susie Loy, Jack D65, and AR Chan 1785. Thank you all so much for your support. I'm gonna be real, guys. I feel a little bit deflated right now with the Jared situation. We're gonna get into it in a bit, but it makes me so angry, and it's very hard to focus on anything other than that. Okay, but anyway, we're going to get into that. So before we get there, when we left off yesterday, Jared, the turd, was preparing to make his nominations. So the plan for the week is to put up Red and Cameron, right? Cameron is the target, but they want to make him feel like he's the pawn so that he won't go as hard for the power veto, right? They want to keep him calm, make sure he's not on high alert. Maybe he won't compete as hard. Maybe he won't think he's in danger. So there was also some discussion that Bowie or America would potentially be the replacement nominee if the veto was used. All right. In other news, Jag was trying really hard to find his footing after being double blindsided, right? The first blindside being evicted by a vote of 10-0. He was not expecting that. He thought he was going to stay 8-10. Then he's blindsided again when Matt saves him with the power of invincibility. So now Jag is trying to find out what exactly happened with the vote. Why did I end up leaving unanimously instead of staying by a landslide? He's trying to figure out, who do I believe? You've got Cirie and her squad, like Izzy, Felicia, Mimi, fully trying to place the blame on America and Corey, mostly America, saying, oh, America and Corey didn't want to keep you, so that's why you went. You know, we couldn't make it happen. Also, you've got the other side, America, telling Jag, I wanted to keep you, but I didn't have the numbers, which is true. And she's telling Jag, Cirie's squad never intended to keep you. It was the same thing that happened when Riley was up on the block. And I, again, wanted to keep you, but I didn't have any influence over that group. So let's also keep in mind, America was trying to warn Jag on Wednesday night that people were lying about their votes. The votes were not there for him to stay, but he wasn't really taking it in that night. However, the night before, it seemed like Jag was putting the pieces together, you know, after he was evicted and came back. He was talking to Blue, and we saw Jag and Blue were both agreeing America was probably framed for that whole voting situation. They identified that Cirie is running this game. She's working with everyone. She's got little deals here and there with everyone. She's also got gigantic alliances with everyone. But they realized she has the numbers to do whatever she wants, right? If she had wanted to keep Riley, she could have made that happen. If she wanted to keep Jag, could have made that happen. So Jag and Blue are talking about wanting to pull America in to play with them. And they realize at this point, we're going to have to play along with Cirie's squad for right now. But they see what's going on, and they hope that they'll be able to make a move further down the line. Okay. So, I mean, that's exciting, right? It's energizing. Like, something's going to change here. We're going to get some opposition to this majority that's been in control pretty much the whole game. So Jag had even told Matt, look, you need to be really careful about what you share with Cirie, because Cirie told her people about your secret power. Now we know Cirie absolutely told Jared ahead of time, but I don't think she told anybody else. But Jared says, Jag says that Jared came to him on Wednesday and hinted that there was a power that could keep both him and Blue safe for the week. So clearly, Cirie must have told Jared about it if Matt didn't tell Jared himself. So, is this going to affect Matt's loyalty to Cirie? I don't know. I worry that it won't. But Jag and Matt later solidified a 3-person alliance with Cirie. They had a little handshake and everything, whatever. How serious is Jag about this? Is he completely ignoring the whole, like, we got to do something about this Cirie situation, or is he just playing along? It's hard to say, right? Because he's all over the place. I think he's a great person, but he's all over the place in this game. So let's talk about some new stuff. Jag and Blue touched base in the scary bedroom yesterday, and Jag says we need to figure out who can take some shots here, like at Cirie's group. So they know, well, Felicia has mentioned to both of us that Corey is gonna have to go soon because Felicia keeps saying that Corey is sitting pretty. So clearly Corey is somebody who's on the outs with that group. Maybe they can scoop him up at some point. Blue says Felicia has also mentioned that Cirie and Bowie have a rocky relationship. But Blue is like, I don't know that Bowie would be bold enough to take a shot that big, right? I think the problem here is that Bowie doesn't realize she has a rocky relationship with Cirie. As far as she's concerned, she's great with Cirie, right? She definitely has issues with Izzy, but I don't think Bowie realizes that there are issues there with Cirie. So Blue says, either way, like, she doesn't think it's just America who's on the outs right now. So they do have some potential numbers that they can gather together and work with at some point. Jag and Blue agree they have to be so careful about who they talk about this stuff with, right? Because if this gets back to Jared or Cirie or Felicia, anybody from that group, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. So Jag says clearly there are whispers going around, but he's not sure at what point they join in on that. You should probably do it soon, because if you wait too long, you're going to be watching the rest of this from home, or you're going to be in the jury house. So Blue says, yeah, we don't have to start making big moves until later. When's later? Don't wait too long. So Jag says, we're already working on building trust with America, right? We got to keep that going. I think Lammy's chasing a bug. We got to keep that going and really get her working with us. And Jag says we should also start building with Matt as well, because if we can get Matt and he stays solid with us, that's going to be really important for our thing that we're trying to do here. Yeah, I think that ship may have sailed already. I think it may be too late, and Matt is a Fields family member. Anyway, Blue says she feels like the focus has kind of shifted off of them for now. Maybe they're not as big of targets as they were before. And she's like, even if Red or Cameron win HOH next week, we might not go up. I don't know about that, but sure. Blue is suggesting maybe we should try and build some bridges with Red and Cameron a bit, whichever one of them stays, maybe we can make sure we're going to be good with them. She personally feels it would be better for her game if Red were to go this week, because Red would probably put up Blue and America. Blue doesn't want to be going up on the block again. So Blue says, even though America is not in our the 7 deadly sins, they need to keep her as long as possible because she is a solid number for them. And Jag agrees. And I also agree. All right. So then Jag is talking about how people's stories about the vote are not really adding up at this point, right? He's hearing a lot of conflicting things. He says Cirie's group is clearly trying to pin this all on America and Corey, but mostly on America. She is taking the brunt of this. And he says they're telling me that America is feeding Red information, but that doesn't make sense because those two hate each other. Yeah, right? This is not adding up. Please take note of this. So Jag says they're trying to make America the number one target over Corey. So like Corey must have something going on with them. Yep. All right. Putting the pieces together still. Okay. So nomination ceremony. As planned, Jared puts Cameron and Red up on the block. We knew that was going to happen. All right. After, Jared is chatting with Cirie and Felicia outside, and Jared is reporting that Cameron was trying to throw America under the bus, which, everybody expected. This is not a surprise, of course. He wants to try and make sure that Cameron and Red both make it through the week. But Cameron was also telling Jared that he would be on board if Jared wanted to make a bigger move here and take out Izzy. Yeah, I mean, we know this is not happening, right? But Jared's like, I didn't tell Izzy yet because I know that's going to make her go crazy. And Cirie says, yeah, I'm not telling Izzy. I don't want to have to babysit tonight. She's not having it. All right. Meanwhile, Cameron is chatting with Corey on the Sky Bridge, and Corey is keeping up the charade that Red is the target this week, right? Because they want to keep Cameron calm. So Corey's telling Cameron, like, I think you're good, but this isn't like a do nothing week for you. You should probably put in some effort, like more effort than you did when you were up against Riley or when you're up against Heisem. Like, you might need to do a little more work this week. But he's asking, did Jared give you any indication that you were going to be going up or that you were going to be the target or Red's going to be the target? And Cameron's like, well, I knew that Red was going to go up, but I didn't think that I would be sitting next to him. So he says, Jared asked if I would be okay going up as a pawn. And I said, please don't. All right. So Corey is explaining that Jared was probably just nervous. That if Cameron was not up on the block and he won the power veto, that he would use it on Red. So he's like, this is why you're on the block. Like, no need to worry here. It's just because you are so close with Red. So Cameron's like, I get that, but I got to talk to people. I got to get an idea of how people are feeling. So again, Corey's reassuring Cameron, you should be okay, but put in some work this week. Nah, we know that Cameron is the target. Okay. So a few minutes later, Cirie and Felicia are chatting in the storage room. They both feel so bad for Red that he's up on the block. It's his birthday week. His birthday is Tuesday, and they want to make sure that he feels safe. Are they serious right now? He can't be up on the block because it's his birthday. So Felicia's like, I already talked to Red and I told him, you just need to trust us. You are not the target this week. You're not going home. And she told him, we're going to celebrate your birthday big. Cirie is like, I cannot let this man go home on his birthday. And Felicia's like, yeah, he's not. And Cirie's like, well, what if like Cameron wins the veto though? Then what? Isn't Red going to become the new target? And Felicia's like, Cameron's not winning the veto. Okay. So Cirie checks in with Red in the comics bedroom. Come here, Lammy. And Cirie's like, you've trusted me since the beginning of this game, right? You're going to be okay. And Red says, he knows. They hug. And then Cirie's like, I don't care what promises you made, because everybody's hearing now Red is like freaking out because he like made some promises and he doesn't want to go back on them. We'll get into that. So Cirie's telling him, you came into this game for yourself and for your family. And Red's like, yeah, but I made promises. And Cirie's like, what promises? You're gonna give the power veto to Cameron if you win? And Red's like, no, I'm just missing home. So Cirie's like, I love you. Red starts crying, and he says, this place really turns you into a baby. So Cirie's like, everyone here loves you. You don't have to worry about anything, whether you're up against Cameron or anyone else. Well, you might have to worry. I mean, if Cameron wins the Cameron wins the veto, Red might have to worry. So Red again is saying, I'm not crying about being nominated. It's personal stuff. And he shares later that he's had bad luck around his birthday. So I feel bad for him for that, for sure. But I don't know if he's also trying to play this up because, like, it's working. People are feeling bad for him. All right. Anyway, Cameron and Jared have a chat in the HOH room, and Jared is explaining that he had to put Cameron up next to Red because Cameron is just like so loyal to his friends, right? He couldn't risk Cameron winning the power veto and using it on Red. Because again, Jared is trying to act like Red is his primary target this week. So Jared says, Cameron, I hope you feel as close to me as you do Red. I hope that you would be willing to use the power of veto on me in the future if I needed it, the same way that you would be willing to use it on Red. Especially if you put him on the block? No. But Jared says, I consider myself one of your best friends. Notice he says, I consider myself one of your best friends and not, I consider you one of my best friends. So he can be one of Cameron's best friends, but Cameron is not his best friend. But Jared says, I hope this doesn't hinder that, me putting you up on the block with your bestie Red. So Cameron says, I told you if you wanted to make a big move, I would bend over backwards this week to help you do it. But I didn't think I would be bending this hard. Bend it like Beckham. You're the target. So he just wishes that Jared would have told him ahead of time that he would be going up on the block. But, Jared's trying to make it seem like Red is the target, and he tells Cameron if the power veto is used, America would be the replacement nominee. And he says, if it's America versus Cameron, America goes. But if it's America versus Red, either way, like one of them goes. Okay. So then Cirie and Jag chat in the scary bedroom. We join this conversation already in progress, but it seems like Cirie is confronting Jag about his investigation into last week's votes. Oh, is Cirie sweating here? Is she nervous that the truth is going to come out? When like you're nervous that you did something wrong and somebody starts looking into it and you're like, stop looking into it. You don't need to do that. So Jag's like, oh, I really didn't want my questioning people to come off as an interrogation, but I do see how it could feel that way to people if they have something. And then he didn't finish that thought, but he's basically saying if they have something tied. So Cirie's like, oh, well, I didn't think it felt like an interrogation, but, some people told me that. They told me that it felt that way to them. So Cirie tells Jag, however you want to get the answers, I'm open to it. So Jag says, maybe we should just get everyone in a room together. And Cirie says, you could if that's what you really want to do, but you just have to know people are not going to want to like line up to do that. And that's probably going to feel like an interrogation. So it would probably just be better to let this happen naturally when we all end up in the same room together. You could just bring it up when you have the opportunity, when the opportunity presents itself. She does not want this meeting to happen. But she's acting like she's cool with it, right? Because she wants to make it seem like she's innocent here. So Jag's like, well, I want you to know I still trust the 7 deadly sins and I want to move forward with that group. So Cirie's telling him again, do whatever you feel like you need to do. I have no problem standing in front of whoever this, my info is not matching up with, and I will tell what happened, right? So Jag's like, yeah, I think it would be useful to figure this out because it is definitely the elephant in the room right now, and I want our alliance to be able to move forward together. I want to rebuild that trust. So Cirie's like, listen, I'm going to tell you something right now. I knew that Matt had the power. And I went along with all the back and forth on the vote, and there was a lot of back and forth. But I knew that ultimately you would be saying. So I just went along with it. So she's like, I'm going to leave it up to you. If you want to keep talking about the votes with people, again, I'm open to it. She keeps saying that over and over again. She's open to it, whatever he wants to do, but also like, don't have that meeting with everybody. All right. So a little later, Cirie and Jared touch base in the scary bedroom. And they're talking about how Red was crying earlier. And he said that he had a feeling he would be up on the block for his birthday because he's like never had a good birthday in his life. And that's sad. That is sad. But like, is he playing this up a little bit? Jared says, cry me a river. I don't care. Ooh, okay. Sure. So Cirie says, I had to put Jag on notice just now because it sounds to me like America and Corey may be trying to put the blame for the vote on me. I'm losing my mind here. Cirie says, I told him that I would be open to getting everyone in a room together, but I did also tell him people may not like that, so maybe he shouldn't do it. But she's like, we're going to have to probably check in with Corey really soon because if he hears that I was talking about getting everyone in a room together, he's going to freak out again, just like he did when Jag was trying to get people in a room to talk about the votes on Wednesday night. So hearing the name Corey, Jared's like, Corey's selfish. I don't trust him anymore. He's got to go soon. All right. So then Jared also brings up he's thinking about a potential replacement nominee, right? Just in case Cameron or Red win the veto. So Jared is kicking around the options, Bowie, America, but he says at that point he's leaning more towards America. That would definitely start up some drama. But Jared says he just wants to make America sweat a bit. He would be a little bit nervous putting her up there, though, because Jag brought up an important point. He was like, what if America goes up and people vote her out instead of Red or Cameron? You know, whoever she's next to. So Jared's a little nervous. What if the votes did flip? And Cirie's like, no. Cameron or Red would still go if they're up against America. You know, we would make sure of that. We have the votes. So Cirie is just like, at this point, I really hope Cameron doesn't win the power veto because she doesn't want Red to go on his birthday week. Okay, so let's check in with Jag again. Jag is doing too much. He's talking too much. He was talking to Red in the kitchen, and this was just supposed to be like a clear the air conversation. Remember, he was talking about this with Blue, how he wants to make sure that he's good with Red, just in case he stays this week. So Jag tells Red, I've got nothing against you at all. Things are open on my end. And I don't want us to feel as though we need to target each other moving forward. I've enjoyed the conversations that we've had. So Red's like, yeah, I mean, I've never been in a position to target anyone in this game, right? He's never been HOH before. And Jag's like, same. They were both definitely targeting each other, like very openly. Yeah. So Jag says this is a house of whispers and people get pitted against each other all the time. So he's saying again, I have nothing against you. Red says, same. I've got nothing against you. That would have been enough, right? They could have ended the conversation there. But this conversation keeps going on and on. I think it was at least an hour long. Red was just trying to make his freaking fudge. And Jag is in there speaking in riddles. And people took notice. They noticed how long these two were talking. And it's making them feel like maybe Jag should go again soon. Jag's not going to be happy until he talks his way back up onto the block again. So later, Red is chatting with Bowie in the bathroom, and we find out some more about the promises that he was referring to earlier. So it sounds like, again, we didn't get to hear the beginning of this conversation, but it sounds like Bowie is letting Red know, hey, Cameron's been throwing you under the bus this week. And Red is like, yeah, I know. There's been signs that Cameron has started looking at me as more of a threat instead of as a partner. And I was brushing it off because Cameron is my buddy. So Bowie's like, you know, you should be fine this week. You shouldn't worry, especially if you're still up against Cameron at the end of the week. So Red's like, nope, I'm not going to be fine this week. And he starts explaining why. He says, I made a promise to Cameron at one point that if we were ever in this position with both of us up on the block and I win the power of veto, that I would use it on him to take him down. What? Why would you promise that? So he's like, yeah, at the time, I thought I was in a really good position in the House and I would still have the votes if I stayed up on the block. Do you just not realize, even if you're in a good position in the House, how obnoxious it is to not use the veto on yourself when you're on the block? You're going to turn people against you. I don't care how well positioned you are at the time. But anyway, Red says, unfortunately, Cameron put me in this position in this week, right? I'm associated with him. He's throwing me under the bus, blah, blah, blah. But if I win the power of veto, I'm going to stick to my word and I'm going to use it on Cameron. Oh my God. So Bowie's like, what? You know you're saying something crazy if Bowie Jane, who like is barely playing the game, thinks it's dumb. So Bowie's like, I think you would just be doing yourself harm with all of that. And Red's like, yeah, well, two wrongs don't make a right. So Bowie says, the other option is to not use it, leave nominations the same, but you know, that's silly. Like, why would you not use it on yourself? Cameron also promised he would never like vote against you, go against you, whatever, and he's breaking that. And Red's like, yeah, but just because someone breaks their promise doesn't give me a right to do so. And he says, my word is what bonds me, even to my detriment. I may leave this house with nothing but my integrity. And if it comes down to that, I hope that y'all, as my friends, would honor that and let me walk. Walk? Is he gonna like self evict so that Cameron can stay? What? And Bowie's like, no, we wouldn't vote you out even if you did this ridiculous plan. And she did call it a ridiculous plan. And she's right. But Red says, if nominations stay the same, like a dumbass, and that's his word, I did say that I would leave before I let Cameron go out. What is going on here? I feel like I'm taking medication. Like, I don't know. What? I feel like I'm losing my mind. Why would you promise that? Why would you intend to keep that promise when this person is trying to throw you under the bus? What is this? And why would you make that promise in the first place? It just doesn't make sense. Um, Again, is he implying that he would like self evict if it looked like Cameron was leaving? So Red also says he made promises at home to keep his promises in the game. So I guess he's saying if he goes back on the promises he made in the house, he will also be betraying his family. And he's like, I don't want to upset my girlfriend. She didn't want me to go on the show, but I did it anyway, selfishly. So he's like doing a whole lot in his own mind right now. A lot of mental gymnastics there. And Bowie's like, you know what? You should just sleep on it and then change it. Just focus on winning the power veto, first of all. All right. Meanwhile, Cameron's talking to Jared in the HOH room, and Cameron is trying to move the target onto America so that both he and Red can be safe. So he's saying to Jared, if you take America out, the whole house will see you as a hero. You'll gain everyone's respect, and no one would come after you if you take out America. Why is everyone hating on America so much? I don't understand it. I mean, I guess because she is a threat to Cirie. Cirie has created this narrative that America is like evil, I guess. I don't know. And all of Cirie's allies have kind of like latched onto that, but I guess also she's like a scapegoat at this point, but it makes me so sad because I feel like America is one of our only hopes at like kind of more of a balanced season, right? So it's not just one group steamrolling to the end. I also just feel bad for her on an emotional level of all these people like coming at her like this. It's a lot. But anyway, Matt and Jag had a late night strategy chat, and honestly, they probably should have just gone to bed because their brains were not working right at this point. They're talking about how they want to stay loyal to the seven deadly sins. It's the majority. They want to stay in the majority. They voted you out last week. What are you doing? They're feeling really good about their new alliance with Cirie, their three-person alliance, and they think that Cirie will look out for them. I mean, Matt, yeah. Jag, no. Cirie is not happy with Jag right now. With his trying to dig into the votes and what happened last week. She does not want him around long term. But Matt and Jag both agree they want to work with Red moving forward. They would love to pull him into their alliance with Cirie. They feel like no one would expect that group of four working together. And Matt is saying he would love to win the power veto and use it to save Red. Really seal the deal for Cameron to leave. Okay. Matt tells Jag, Matt, I don't know where Matt's coming from with this. Matt is trying to like share some intel about last week's vote. And he says, yeah, Corey and America were back and forth about the vote last week. And I'm pretty sure he said that Corey wanted to tell Jag that the votes weren't there and America was against it. But it was in reality the exact opposite. So Jag, I don't know where Matt's getting his information, but Jag is like, oh, well, now I know not to fully trust America. So they talk about how much she lies, she's got to go, and they're saying they'll play along with her, but they want her out next after Cameron's gone. Please tell me that Jag is not serious about this. He needs to stop talking to Matt and go back to talking to Blue, because this Jag and Matt thing is not working. But anyway, this morning they had the Power of Veto player picks. The host was Blue. And then we have the players, Jared, the HOH, the 2 nominees, Cameron and Red, and then 3 extra players, America, Matt, and Felicia. Okay, this is where things start getting unacceptable. The feeds come back to Jared and Corey arguing in the HOH room, and Jared is having a freaking hissy fit that America was picked to play for this Power of Veto. Now, if you look at this player lineup, I think we can see here, Jared is probably like, oh, America and Felicia, they're not going to win this. So it's like him and Matt versus Cameron and Red. So Jared is complaining like he's convinced that America is going to throw this competition and that it's going to be an even bigger chance that Cameron or Red will win. And he says, America's been throwing all the competition so far. I would not consider someone taking a deal after 14 hours in the pressure cooker throwing it. I also think that America's performed much better in competitions than Jared, who supposedly hasn't been throwing competitions. It's a lot, but he's insisting that America is going to throw this, and it's like a direct attack on Jared's game, right? Jared is saying America needs to play hard this time, and if you can't put your best foot forward to help me carry out my plan, then what use do I have for you? You're going against me. He's such a baby. So Corey's insisting, no, America's not going to throw this competition. She does not want Cameron and Red here, right? They're trying to throw her under the bus. Like, how does that make sense? So Jared is insisting, no, she is going to throw this competition. They go back and forth for a bit, and Corey is begging Jared, please trust me. I know America better than you. She is not throwing this competition. So Jared's like, oh, well, if America does throw the competition and I can tell, I'm putting her up as the replacement nominee. So they talk a little bit more. At the end of this conversation, Jared apologizes, first of all, for coming at Corey in front of Izzy instead of pulling him aside to chat first. Apparently, there was some sort of confrontation before the feeds came back after they picked players. Jared also says, yeah, I don't think that she, meaning America, is the R word. He says, I slipped up. Obviously, I was angry about it. I'm willing to admit that. So Jared used the R word. And when I say the R word, if you don't know what I'm talking about the derogatory slur against people with disabilities. And yes, it is derogatory and it is a slur. So this happened before the feeds came back, but we have Jared confirming that he said it. In my opinion, it sounds like Big Brother should remove him from the game. They made their zero tolerance policy known when they removed Luke from the game for saying the N-word. I feel like this is the same situation, right? I can't even believe that word is still being said in 2023. That should not be slipping out. That shouldn't be in your vocabulary in the first place. It's very offensive. So yeah, I'm really hoping that Big Brother is going to make the right call here and show everyone that type of language is not acceptable. They better be reviewing those tapes right now. I know last time, I think it was like a 12-hour turnaround before they removed Luke from the game. So I'm really hoping that they're going to get it together and get Jared out of there. If not, like, that's unacceptable, especially with the precedent that they've set here. So it's even hard to like move on after that because it's so disgusting to me. But after Corey leaves the HOH room, he says like under his breath about Jared, effing moron. Yeah. Okay. So Corey reports back to America. He doesn't tell her about the R word situation, but he does tell her, you better go hard for that power of veto. You really need to make it obvious that you're trying hard here because people are having hissy fits thinking that you're throwing competitions. And America's just like, wait, what? I'm not throwing competitions. Like, hello, she stayed in the pressure cooker for 14 hours. So, yeah, she's also exasperated that people think that she's working with Cameron and Red when they are throwing her so hard under the bus. She's like, why would anyone think that we're working together? And she's like, I wasn't going to throw the competition anyway. So whatever. But yeah, they do the power veto competition. And I think it was the tiny one where they have like the tweezers and they need to like stack things or whatever. And guess what? Cameron won the power of veto. Oh boy. So once the feeds come back, Jared is sulking big time. He won't talk to anyone at first. He's so upset that his target won the veto. Hopefully Big Brother's going to remove his ass and then he won't even have to worry about putting up a replacement nominee. That's just my opinion. But Cameron winning the power veto was definitely the most chaotic option for POV winner. There are all sorts of plans being thrown around now. There was a plan to potentially try and get Cameron. This was a Cirie and Felicia plan to try and get Cameron to use the power veto on Red instead of himself since it's Red's birthday week. Oh my God. And then they would be like, it's okay. We're putting up Jag. They'd say this just to make Cameron feel comfortable. And then they would vote out Cameron. So Felicia quickly went and pitched this to Cameron. Felicia, come on. Cameron declined. And he was like, no, we have the votes. Like, we have the Legend 25. So Red is going to be safe. America's going to go up on the block next to him and we'll have the votes to keep Red safe. And that's it. So then Felicia goes and talks to Mimi, America, and Jag. And she's telling them how she just pitched this plan to Cameron. And first of all, Jag is like, me? I have to go back up on the block? He's like, seriously? And then Felicia's like, no, don't worry about it. Cameron was saying that, Legend 8 would have the votes, so Red would be safe. So she definitely just outed that alliance to, I'm trying to remember who's in the room, Jag and America. And Mimi's kind of like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, Felicia totally outed the alliance to America and Jag, and they noticed. They were talking about it after. They picked up on it. So it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. Another suggestion, Cirie was suggesting to Jared, I know you really want America out, but maybe we should put up Jag next to Red instead of America. So I don't know if the target there would become Jag or if they would just take out Red, but it's a whole mess right now. I don't know what's going to happen with that power veto. Honestly, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I think that Big Brother should do the right thing and remove Jared. I think that is a bigger concern at this point than the POV replacement, whatever, nominee. And like I said, I'm going to be pissed if they don't take Jared out of this house because that's just a slap in the face to people with disabilities.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
I'm very upset.
I'm upset too. I'm like on the verge of tears right now thinking about it. It's very, very upsetting, and it makes my blood boil.
It's very unfair.
Yeah. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on that situation. I feel like if it's going to happen, it'll be by tomorrow at some point, right? Got to get him out. What?
I don't know. I just don't know if they're going to do anything.
I feel like they have to. But I want to thank today's super chatters because you guys are all awesome. So Mary Ellen L, thank you so much as always. Angela H, thank you so much. Let me scroll back. Uh-oh, I don't think this went back to the top.
It should.
Did it?
Yeah.
Sit tight, guys. Hold on a sec. No, it didn't.
What?
It didn't go back to the top. The first one I'm seeing is Dan Barry. Dan Barry, thank you. You didn't write it down.
Do I need to go get a screenshot?
Yeah, you might need to.
All right.
We're going to come back to our C chat things, but let me thank everybody. Angela H, thank you so much. Gail Murphy Comedy, thank you so much. Janine Honberger, thank you so much for your super chat. Christine, thank you so much. We are working on getting your messages because we don't want to miss those. Dan Barry, thank you so much. All right, I can scroll back to Dan. Hold on. Dan with the, oh wait, Nancy Wilt. Oh wait, Nancy's after Dan. Dan, we're gonna get you. Nancy Wilt, thank you so much. Nancy says, just sending a thank you. Can't stomach this without you. This was a very, very upsetting day, I have to say. When I got caught up to this morning, and I saw that Jared said that, like, again, I felt deflated, right? It's just very upsetting to see people still using language like that. Autumn Pond, thank you so much. And Autumn says, so glad I made it for the live stream today. Yay! I don't understand how Cirie can raise raise a Jared, but I've seen in my real life a lot. Like, how can they even be related? I know, right? It's upsetting. Let me see. Angela H, thank you so much for the super chat. Angela says, if they don't remove Jared, it's clear the game is rigged for Cirie. Yeah, I mean, do you think they're going to be all precious about Jared since he's part of their casting twist? That shouldn't be an exception, though, right? I mean, he broke their rules. So he should be removed from the game. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Jared has been a big disappointment this season. I'm exhausted. I'm going to be honest. Hopefully Mom will be back soon with our super chatters messages.
I'm coming.
Oh, okay.
It didn't go back on there either, but if you sort this, like,
you can
live chat.
Can
but
we do
I
that?
took screenshots anyway. Yes.
Oh, yay. Okay, cool.
Oh, we learned something new.
Learned something new.
Happy
The more you know.
Exactly.
Okay. So now let me get back to our super chatters. Mary Ellen L with the cute kitty cat as always. Angela H says, been an upsetting day in the Big Brother world. Wish the same rules would apply to Jared that applied to Luke. I'm infuriated. Thanks again for all your hard work. It is very upsetting. And I'm hoping that they're going to take action here. Because honestly, if they don't, like, I don't even know how I'm going to keep watching because anytime I see Jared now, I'm angry. Like before he was annoying, but now I'm angry. And it's very defeating.
Yeah.
Gail Murphy Comedy, thank you so much. Gail says, you were so sweet. Keep going one step at a time. We're trying. Janine Honberger, thank you so much. I wish I was on a beach right now with one of those umbrellas.
Or at least have a drink with an umbrella.
Yeah. Christine, thank you so much. Christine says, so tired of hearing everyone bad-mouthing America, especially Corey. It needs to stop. I know. I get that he's trying to distance himself to a certain degree, but it's also like, dude, it's too much. You are piling on. She does not need to be piled on anymore. Dan Barry, thank you so much. Nancy Will. Okay, I think I got everybody there. Phil D, thank you so much. Phil says, zero tolerance. People need to have consequences for certain words, which stem from certain thoughts. Again, this is a Paul 2.0 season for me, but with a trashy son, Riddick. Yeah. Jared's relations to Cirie should not be taken into account here. He needs to be removed for his actions. Anita Nestler, thank you so much for the very generous super chat. And this is also Anita's first super chat. Woo!
Yeah.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Jennifer Feely, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. And this is also Jennifer's first. I think it's Jennifer's first. Yes. Thank you. I know I got to catch up here a little bit, but let me just pop back into the regular chat. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's where we're at. So we don't have a spoiler tomorrow because I am going to my niece and nephew's baptism. So that should be a nice little break away from all this. But I'm hoping that in the meantime, Jared will be removed from this game. And then we'll be back tomorrow for the episode recap. So thank you all so much for being here. We're going to keep an eye on this. And until next time, much love. Bye, everybody. Enjoy your Saturday evening. Bye. Bye.